Good morning, students. In today's lecture, we will discuss about nilpotent and nil ideals. First of all, let us define a nilpotent element. Let R be a ring. Then an element A belonging to this ring R is said to be nilpotent element if there exists a positive integer m such that a raised to the power m is equal to 0. Thus, the element is said to be nilpotent if we get a positive integer m such that that power of the element becomes 0. Now, next we define nil ideal. First of all, let us define nil left ideal. If we take a left ideal I of the ring R, we see that this ideal I is nil left ideal if every element of ideal I is nilpotent. Means for an element A belonging to the ideal I, there exists a positive integer m depending upon the element A such that a raised to the power m is equal to 0. In the same way, you can define nil right ideal. So in general, we can say that an ideal is nil ideal of the ring R if every element of the ideal is nilpotent. Now, next we define nilpotent ideal. Let us take R is a ring and I is left ideal of the ring R. You can take right ideal also. In general, you can take ideal if you are to define nilpotent ideal. So I am first of all defining for the nilpotent left ideal. So a left ideal I of the ring R is said to be nilpotent left ideal if there exists a positive integer m such that I raised to the power m is equal to 0. I raised to the power m means I multiplied m times. The elements of I raised to the power m, that will be of the form of finite sums of the product of elements from I. Now, if we take a left ideal I of the ring R, and if I is nilpotent ideal, then I is nil ideal also. Means every nilpotent ideal is nil. Let us prove it. Because here we are given I is nilpotent ideal. So by definition of nilpotent ideal, there will exist a positive integer, say n, such that I raised to the power n is equal to 0. Now we have to prove that I is nil ideal. It means every element of I is nilpotent. So let us take an arbitrary element A belonging to I. To prove A is nilpotent, let us find A raised to the power n. Now this can be written as A into A into A n times. Now because A belongs to I, A into A will belong to I into I. So A into A into A n times, that will belong to I raised to the power n, and that is 0. So we can say that A raised to the power n is 0. So we have proved A is nilpotent element. A is arbitrary element taken from I. So we can say that every element of I is nilpotent. So by definition, this proves that I is nil ideal of the ring R. So we have proved every nilpotent ideal is nil. But converse need not be true. Means a nil ideal need not be nilpotent. But in case when the ring R is Artinian ring, the result is true. means in an Artinian ring, every nil ideal is nilpotent. So let us prove this theorem now, that in an Artinian ring, every nil ideal is nilpotent. Let us take an Artinian ring R, and I is nil left ideal in this ring R. We will prove that I is nilpotent. Now, we are given that I is nil ideal. So by definition, every element of I is nilpotent. So if we take an arbitrary element B belonging to I, then there will exist a positive integer k such that b raised to the power k will be 0. Now we have to prove that I is nilpotent. Let us prove it by contradiction. Suppose I is not nilpotent ideal. So we can say that I raised to the power n will not be equal to 0. Here n is positive integer. Now let us find I raised to the power k plus 1. This can be written as I into I raised to the power k. Now because I is left ideal of the ring R, so I is contained in R, so I into I raised to the power k, that is contained in R into I raised to the power k, and this is further contained in I raised to the power k. So we have proved I raised to the power k plus 1 is contained in I raised to the power k, and this is true for every k greater than equal to 1. In this way, we have obtained a descending chain of left ideals of the ring R, given by I contains I square contains I cube, and so on. We can start this chain from I naught also. I naught can be considered as the ring R, and R contains each of these ideals. Now, because the ring R is Artinian, so by definition of Artinian ring, this descending chain of ideals that will be stationary after a finite number of steps. So by definition, we can say that there will exist a positive integer k such that I raised to the power m is equal to I raised to the power m plus k. Here k is greater than, or here k is some positive integer. Let us take an ideal j, which is I raised to the power m. Now we claim that j is 0 ideal. Let us suppose j is not 0 ideal. Now let us find j square. J square means j into j. J is I raised to the power m. So we get I raised to the power m into I raised to the power m, that is I raised to the power 2m. But from here we can see that I raised to the power m is same as I raised to the power m plus k. So we can say that I raised to the power 2m will be same as I raised to the power m, and this is non-zero. So we have proved j square is not equal to 0. Now let us take a family of all those ideals A of the ring R which are left ideals, and they are contained in J, and the product of J with A, that is not equal to 0 ideal. Now let us verify that this is non-empty collection of left ideals of the ring R. Now because J is left ideal of the ring R, and also J is contained in J, and J into J, that is J square, which is not equal to 0 from here. So this definition of family tau, that is satisfied. So we can say that J belongs to this family tau. So tau is non-empty family of left ideals of the ring R. Now, because we are given ring R is Artinian, so by definition of Artinian ring, every non-empty family of left ideals of R will have a minimal element. So let us take that minimal element is A. Now because A is the element of tau, so by definition of family tau, from here A is left ideal of R contained in J, and J into A is not equal to 0 ideal. Now let us take an arbitrary element A belonging to A such that this element is non-zero and J into A is not equal to 0. We can consider this because J into A is non-zero ideal. Now J is left ideal of the ring R. So J into A, that will be the left ideal of the ring R having the elements of the form X into A, where X belongs to J. Now A is contained in J. So the element A belonging to A, that will belong to J. So we can say J into A is contained in J. Therefore, J into JA means J square A, that will be JA, and JA is non-zero. Therefore, J into A belongs to the family tau because J into A is contained in tau and product of J with JA is non-zero. Now, because the element A belongs to A and J is contained in R, so J into A will be contained in RA, and R into A, that is contained in A because A is ideal of the ring R. So we have proved J into A is contained in A. We had taken A as the minimal element of the family tau. So JA contained in A implies that they must be same. So J into A is same as A. So the element A belongs to A implies that the element A belongs to JA. So A will be of the form of the elements of JA. So we can take an element B from J, and A can be written as B into A. Now let us find B into BA. Now B into A is A, so this will become BA, and BA is again as A. So from here we have obtained A is equal to B square A. We can continue like this by substituting the value of A here. Again putting the value of A here, the value of A is BA. Putting here, we get A is equal to B square into A, means B into BA. And putting the value of A here, we get A is equal to B cube A. So in general, we can say that A is equal to B raised to the power K into A for every K greater than or equal to 1. Now B belongs to J and J is I raised to the power M, and I raised to the power M is contained in I, and I is nil ideal. So by definition, every element of I is nilpotent. B is an element of I, so B is nilpotent. So by definition of nilpotent element, there will exist a positive integer, say L, such that B raised to the power L will be 0. Now from here we can say A is equal to B raised to the power L into A. B raised to the power L is 0, so we get A is equal to 0, which is a contradiction because A was non-zero element taken from A. So this contradiction proves the result. So we have proved that there exists some positive integer M such that I raised to the power m will be 0. Means j is 0. So we get I must be nilpotent. So this completes the proof of the theorem that in an Artinian ring, every nil ideal is nilpotent. Now, our next theorem is R is a ring. A and B are left ideals of the ring R, such that the ideal A, which is left ideal of the ring R, that is contained in B. We are to prove that B is nilpotent if and only if A and B by A are nilpotent. So first of all, let us take B is nilpotent. And we prove that both A and B by A are nilpotent. Now because we have taken B as nilpotent, so by definition of nilpotent, there will exist a positive integer n such that B raised to the power n will be 0. Now because A is contained in B, so A raised to the power n will be contained in B raised to the power n. And B raised to the power n, that is 0. So we get A raised to the power n is equal to 0. Thus we have proved that there exists a positive integer n such that A raised to the power n is 0. So by definition, this proves that A is nilpotent. Now let us prove B by A is nilpotent. Now because B is left ideal of the ring R and A is contained in B, so we can say that B by A, that will be left ideal of the ring R by A. Let us take elements from B by A. The elements of B by A will be of the form of elements from B plus A. So let us take elements A1, A2, A3 up to AN from B. Then A1 plus A, A2 plus A, A3 plus A up to AN plus A. These are the elements of B by A. Now their product will belong to B by A whole raised to the power n. Now by definition, this product can be written as A1 into A2 into A3 up to AN plus A. Now because these elements belongs to B, so A1 into A2 will belong to B square, A1 into A2 into A3 belongs to B cube, and so on. So the product of these n elements will belong to B raised to the power n, and B raised to the power n, that is 0 because B is nilpotent. So we get the product of these n elements is 0. So we can say that A1 into A2 into A3 up to AN plus A, that will be same as A because this part is 0. And by definition, this is the product of these n elements A1 plus A, A2 plus A, A3 plus A up to AN plus A. Now this element belongs to B by A. So the product of these two will belong to B by A raised to the power 2. So in general, the product of these n elements will belong to B by A whole raised to the power n. So we have proved B by A raised to the power n is equal to A. A is the 0 of R by A. So by definition, this proves that B by A is nilpotent. Now let us prove the converse part. In the converse part, we are given that A and B by A are nilpotent, and we are to prove that B is nilpotent. Because A is nilpotent, so by definition of nilpotent, there will exist a positive integer m such that A raised to the power m will be 0. B by A is nilpotent, so by definition, there will exist a positive integer n such that b by a raised to the power n will be 0. 0 of r by a, which is a. Now let us prove b is nilpotent. Let us take n elements a1, a2, a3 up to an from b. So a1 plus a, a2 plus a, a3 plus a up to an plus a. These will be the elements of b by a. So the product of these n elements that will belong to b by a raised to the power n. Now from here, b by a raised to the power n is same as a. And by definition, the product of these n elements, this can be written as a1 into a2 into a3 up to an plus a. So this element is same as a. Now because this sum is equal to a, so we can say that this element also belongs to a. Thus the element a1 into a2 into a3 up to an, that belongs to a. This was an element of b raised to the power n, and that is belonging to a. So we can say that b raised to the power n is contained in a. Taking m power on both sides, we get b raised to the power nm is contained in a raised to the power m. But a is nilpotent ideal, so a raised to the power m is 0. So b raised to the power nm is equal to 0. Now this is a positive integer because n and m both are positive integers. Thus we have obtained a positive integer nm such that b raised to the power nm is 0. So by definition, this proves that b is nilpotent. So this completes the proof of this theorem.